All right.
All right. Hey, yeah, we're
We
live.
are ready. We're on. We're on.
We're on. We're live. Yes. Hi, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of EduTalk. This is where things happen, educationally. That is on EduTalk. Right across the diaspora. I am here with my co-host. So, by the way, I'm Dr. Dwayne Dice. I am the chair for the Education Task Force in the JDTA Network. And as usual, I am here with my co-host, Mr. Leo Gilling. And Mr. Leo Gilling is gonna ask me, "Hey, you all right?"
You kind of look kind of fattish.
As usual. Yeah, eating. You know what I'm doing though, Leo? I'm preparing for America's Thanksgiving.
Oh, so okay, so you eat up everything today so that tomorrow you don't have to eat anything.
I
That's
just
it, right?
give thanks.
No wonder you look fattish. No wonder you look fattish.
Yes. So, how are you, Leo?
Good day. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just hanging in there, every day at a time, looking at this world going back probably into lockdown again. But it's all good. We read, try to write down a few things, give a few talks to people, and that's it. I'm sure you're doing the same thing too.
Yes, I still haven't come out of my house, officially since March. So, I'm still quarantined. The only thing I do is go walk. I walk in the days, and then, once a week I go to the supermarket and spend a couple of minutes and come back out. So that's it. My diet has changed dramatically. I lost 19 pounds.
Really?
I lost 19 pounds. And so, but let's not talk about me right now, Bridget. Let's talk about the beautiful young lady that I see in front of you. I don't see nobody else. I see a beautiful young lady. Unfortunately, she's in New York, right? Is there anybody else on the line? Anybody else? Tell me.
There is, yeah. We have with us. It's glad you segue into this. We have some wonderful people here. We are gonna talk. We're gonna talk about food. We're gonna talk about growing up in Jamaica, if we grew up in Jamaica, wherever we grew up. And then we're gonna talk about the value systems that we have grown up on surrounding food. And also leading, yeah, Leo.
You mean like the tenement yard when we grew up in with the kitchen out the door? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
with the pot with the two little angle and you have to stuff the pot on the side because it's a leak. Is that what you're talking about? Food?
Yes.
Okay. Tasheka don't have those kind of experience. Let's introduce him. Tasheka Winter, how are you this evening?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You sound polished. She's so polished. Oh my God!
But we want her just Tasheka, tell us where you work. Give us a little background about you.
So I'm located in the Bronx, New York. I work for a nonprofit organization working with children and youth from early childhood to middle school. And I was born in Jamaica. My early childhood in Jamaica, however, migrated when I was young. And so most of my education was here in America, but I still hold my roots. And so
Tasheka, right off the bat, you know what mango tree look like, right?
I climb mango tree too.
You ever climb mango tree with duck hand's nest? Just kidding. Just don't answer that. You don't know what a duck hand's nest is.
And get beat after.
Oh my God.
And then I have my personal preference here is from St. Mary, up in the hills, the easternmost part of St. Mary. That's right next to Portland. His name is Miguel Barker, and he loves to talk mango. I don't know why he thinks him have the best mango in a St. Mary, But tell us, Dr. Miguel Barker.
Hi. I think you're deserving of a response about the best mango. Before I even talk about myself, I have to defend. Okay. There's only one mango that exists in Jamaica that you'll see people selling all across Jamaica. It comes from a little community called Long Road. I call it Long Mango.
Yes.
Yeah. Those mangoes, people come and get them from Long Road and carry them to Kingston to sell.
True, but
country mango. So,
no, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. Long Road is 8 miles south of Anato Bay, up in the hills.
without embellishing too much the role that anatomy has played in this, it is the port of disembarkation for the mango to get to all the other parts of the world.
Miguel, where you know? Tell us where you know.
Well, where I am now. So, I'm in a place, I'm in Muscat. Muscat, Oman. Oman is a part of the Arabian Peninsula, and it's not as popular as its neighbors, for example, Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates. Right. Many people, when I say where I am, I will have to name a few places first, and then I might say Dubai, and they say, okay, Dubai. Oh. So I still have family members who still think I live in Dubai because that is the way their brain process this part of the world. But I'm in a place called Muscat, a quaint city, just about the size of maybe Kingston, but I really, really love the place.
So what's a dark Bakayo?
You're gonna reveal what's happening. It's virtual. My very, very good friend Dr. Dice, when he had asked me to come on this show, I had already planned to go off on a little holiday with my family. So what has happened is that normally I don't know how to tell him no. So what happens is that I am currently, because this is our National Day weekend, she's celebrating 50 years of independence, and we normally get 2 days off for National Day. Okay. And so what's happening here, I am away at the hotel, and in order to partake in this conversation, it's not possible, as my wife said, for me to have a conversation in the house with anyone else in the especially when I'm talking about Jamaican stuff. So I decided to leave the hotel room and have this conversation in the comfort and the privacy of my car. So okay.
So Miguel, next time you should say that's your virtual background. That's what
I think I had two choices here.
That's what he was regretting Jamaica, because I didn't hear any squeaking of the
cricket.
Yeah.
I had two choices. One of the choices was that the family would leave outside and sleep in the car and I have or I would come outside. But my wife is a Jamaican woman, so you know the outcome of that.
Nah, take no back seat to nobody.
Hold on, Miguel. We want to go over to Dr. Michael Flanagan. Dr. Michael Flanagan is from Jamaica too, so give us a little bit about you, Dr. Michael Flanagan.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on, man. So, I was born in Kingston, grew up in Swallowfield, did basic school in Swallowfield, primary school at Providence, high school, JC, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And as you guys talking about food, I had a big apple tree in the middle of my yard. Yeah, man. I raise goats, I raise fowl, chickens, I raise...
Hold on, miss which part you come from? Miss which part you come from? Say it again.
The battlefield, Swallowfield.
Swallowfield.
Swallowfield. Yeah, where the hell is where's Swallowfield?
Right by the stadium, my friend.
Yeah, man.
You mean in Kingston?
Yeah, man.
So no race go to Kingston in a Mountain View?
Not Mountain View. This is a Swallowfield. Come on, get your geography right, man. But listen, just real fast, to tie into the mango argument and the mango discussion. We used to jump over the people them fence and pick up them mango every morning.
Yeah.
We used to do the big wash pan with the black mango them and sit down.
Okay. All right. You come from the right place. Yeah, all right. You're verified. You're completely verified.
Yeah, I used to do that too when I was in Augusta. I just jump over the fence, pick up the mangoes and just wash them.
East Indian them, man. Yeah.
Yes. But where you know?
So right now I'm director of the Caribbean Research Center at Medgar College, which is in Brooklyn. It's a predominantly Black institution. It's the only Black college in the entire city university New York system. Well, your college claim a little bit, but we're about 90%.
Yes.
A lot of students from the Caribbean, by the way, and so that's what I do. I worked in banking, both Citibank and Chase for many years. And I've also worked on the faculty side. I've taught classes and also, done my PhDs on Black middle class. parental investment in their children's education. So what was nice to what some of you folks have talked about, I interviewed black parents from the Caribbean, black parents from Africa, black parents from America. Mm-hmm. And there's one common thread: everybody is focused on education and improving the lot of their children.
Isn't that so funny that no matter how poor you are from the Caribbean, no matter how disadvantaged you are, you always do things to improve your kids' education no matter what, right? You'll spend the last dollar to make sure that they get the right khaki pants or the pair of shoes or the shirt or something like that, just to make sure, you know. I was talking the other day, and my mom never helped me, never put her pen on paper or even asked me to read a book to me. But the one thing that I was certain of, that when I was going to extra lessons, that she paid for extra lessons for me. You understand? And so that is a typical Jamaican. So whether you live at Jamaica or you live in America, your kids get number one, you know? So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so why don't we're going to start off, let's go around, since we're talking about family values and so on. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. We want to talk about how we grew up in Jamaica, wherever you grew up. I know Tashega grew up here in America, but from Jamaican background, is Jamaica. What are some of the foods you eat? And is it that we celebrate Thanksgiving one time a year or however many, you know? What was it looking like for food for us? Miguel, let's start with you first.
Thanksgiving where?
Food, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about Thanksgiving, or are you just talking about food generally?
It's food in general, because
all right.
Thanksgiving have to do with giving thanks around a lot of food. Different types of food.
I maybe want to talk about the traditional Sunday dinner, but
okay.
Whenever we think about food, for me, food in Jamaica for me doesn't center so much around those Sunday dinners in the way, in terms of the kind of memories, the deeper memories, because it's every Sunday, and it's either you have it or you don't have it.
Right.
You could either have rice and peas or you don't. And I have a very funny story about us not having rice and peas on Sunday, which is another story. But I'll tell you where we're talking about food. My grandmother used to have what people would consider to be, in Jamaica, they say they have a bush. Now, my grandmother, I'll clarify what that is. Yes, she have a bush. Yes, our grung. No, my grandmother have two bushes.
Yes.
So she have one near and one far. And a bush is really a farm.
Yes.
That is maybe quite, not that I know. I think it was farmed on crown lands, government lands. It wasn't hers.
Okay.
But people would go up into the hills, find a spot, or there was a man called Mr.
What do you call it? What do you call it when you go live, go do work or live from?
Capture land.
Capture land, yes. Capture land,
right. But in this case, we are way up in the hills. So it is what she would do when it came to summer. I remember in the summer, we would get up early, like about 4:30 in the morning. And my grandmother is a St. Elizabeth woman, And you're walking with her, you have to run to keep up. And she says she's leaving 4:30. She's
4:30 shall leave. Yes.
Because of the nature of my grandmother, is that every child in that tenement yard that you mentioned, Leo, because I grew up in a tenement yard.
Yes.
We get up and then know what happens on a Saturday with Miss Jane. So we all get up early. We can't sleep. We're going to bush. And we get up and we're walking in the dark, all the way till the sun come up, walking through K&Ps, climbing hills, going across rivers, until we get to the bush. Now, when we are going to the bush, remember that food is going to centralize what happens in the day. Now, my grandmother has a specialty. And her specialty dish is corn pork soup. Yeah?
Yes.
I don't know if you eat pork, but this is a corn pork soup.
Corn pork. It touch a little bit. It touch a little bit.
Okay. The only thing that is taken to the bush with us is the pots and the corn pork.
The corn pork.
We go to the bush, and then we need to now get, we have to get water at the river.
Yes.
So we fill the water when you cross in the last river. We get the water to
yes.
Then we have cassava. My grandmother used to make dumplings with cassava. So we grated the
is that
cassava.
right?
Nice.
And she
Okay.
made the dumplings with the cassava.
Okay.
Then we dig up the yam. We dig the
Yes.
cocoa.
Cocoa. You cut the banana. You take off a hand off the banana tree.
You know, everything is taken out of the ground.
Right.
Peas, we shell the peas right there and put it in gungo. We put it in
Yes.
our gungo.
Even
Right there.
okra.
So everybody come, and it's all working, because we have to work to prepare the food.
Yes.
While we're doing that, she's doing her farming, but we're just preparing food. And then I'm just saying that there's maybe about 20 kids, and then we eat, and then we finish, then we have cane.
Dessert.
I am sharing, but it's a moment of thanksgiving if you want to talk about it, because there's no charge. It is food given freely. And now I reflect on it. I think she used that as a way of giving us that kind of community feel that, there's somewhere an escape from the kind of poverty and the struggles that we're facing. There's a moment where we could all just play hide and seek, we play gun war, we do all kind of stuff. Stucky, we do all the games. But the main part is that it's free. It was free. We get our exercise in.
And it's community, family.
And friends. So I'm just sharing that story as a moment of real reflection for me, as a kind of example of giving without even knowing what was going to come back.
Excellent.
Very good.
And that's a story that I'll share about food.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Tasheka, what do you think? What from your experience? Is it like that?
I didn't have a story like Dr. Bar.
Hi.
My
Tell
grandma
us.
didn't let us go to bush.
Tell us anyway.
However, I think for us, the thing that bring family together was that you always go to her house just because you want to be around her. We want to see each other. So even now, like my brother, my sisters, my uncle, all of us meet up at somebody's house, not just for Thanksgiving. You call, you cooking, all right. And then you call everybody, this person's cooking and you're at their house. So like even today, everybody was at my house because my mother was home and she was cooking, and it was like, hey, call my brother. Mom's cooking. Call my uncle. She's cooking, and we all get together. So even though the family get together tomorrow for American Thanksgiving, one of the things that my grandmother did was that she always, the way she bring us together was that everyone had different days of the week. So we all had a family area. We grew up in country. And so we all had everybody's house was next to each other. And one day a week, you go to somebody's house to eat. Even though everybody's cooking, you knew that one day a week, there was this person's house that everybody go. And so I think that's how they brought us together as family. And food was an important thing. Like, you don't do anything without food.
Right.
Anybody come over, as soon as they come over, you offer them food.
What's Thanksgiving like on your end as a Jamaican in America? What does Thanksgiving look like? Line out the food for me and tell me what your memory was and what happened. Is there any story that you can give us about somebody who overeat and that? Tell me one good day.
So Thanksgiving, we don't do turkey. Sorry, we just don't.
Okay, all right.
We do the traditional oxtail, fish, chicken, curry goat. You can't have Thanksgiving without curry goat. The rice is typical.
Right.
I think one time, one of my uncle had a girlfriend that decided she wanted to bring a turkey. And my girlfriend was alive. She was alive then, and when she came, she sucked her teeth and walked off. And I said, "What happened, Mama?" She said, "But why she bring the bird?" I said, "Bird?" She said, "We don't eat them to something there. Where she go with it?" And then, Jamaicans, we don't think the food is cooked unless it look burnt.
It have a brown. It have a brown. Yes.
The turkey was kind of pale. No. It was not going in the middle of the table. So anybody who wanted it could take it home. But that turkey was not going.
No white turkey.
No white turkey. She said, put it back in the oven and make it cook for another 2 hours.
It wouldn't get brown. The turkey would not
get brown. So I mean, definitely, God rest her soul. But that was one of my favorite Thanksgiving memories.
Hey, Dr.
That's a good one.
Flanagan, do you have some because you grew up in Jamaica for a while before you come here? Yes. What was it like for you with food and the classiness
So like I said before, we raised our own chickens and stuff. So the Sunday dinner was a typical Sunday dinner with with the chicken and the rice and peas and soursop juice was big.
Yes.
And sometimes beet juice, carrot juice. And one of the things kind of to what Dr. Barker was talking about, we just have people show up because in Jamaica, people they know when you cook.
Yes,
Sundays, you just show up. And so we always feeding people that come, just people we knew, but they just knew to come to us.
Yes.
And that was fine. And the other thing that happens, especially around Christmas time, was we'd always make all kind of puddings from potato pudding to corned beef pudding to ice cream. We have homemade ice cream.
The pudding of your hot to eat with ice cream.
And you put dry ice in and crank it and all that.
Yes.
We make everything and cut cake and all of them stuff. A lot of baking.
Tasheka, you know that when we make ice cream at Jamaica, we have a little half a barrel, right?
Exactly.
And then put the ice around it, and then spin the thing like so, right?
You're tired of coming back again.
Exactly. You're tired of it. You have to call somebody else and they spin. Keep spinning until ice cream makes. So we make ice cream when they grow.
Absolutely.
I just had it from the ice cream man. I don't know how to make it.
We had a shaver too, we had a shaver to shave the ice.
Yes. That is exactly right. That's
the syrup on it. So we did all of them things there in Jamaica.
Okay.
So up here, and it's all about. So kind of like what Dr. Barker said, it was more about as he says, giving thanks.
Yes.
Up here, because in Jamaica, Thanksgiving we gave thanks all the time for what we had and for friends and we celebrate everybody's success and everybody's hard work and all of that. But up here it is more family. So I have two daughters and they've been very insistent from the time they had any kind of sense. They only want me, the four of us, me, my wife, and them to be together every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. Them don't want nobody else.
That's nice. That's nice. Look, I have a question for everybody, including Lynn. If you grew up among parents who are Jamaicans, every day is a different day for a different kind of dish.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk with Miguel. We're not talking about no Sunday. We are talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Miguel, give me Monday. What was your Monday dinner like? Your Monday dinner?
Why you're putting me on the spot? Here's the thing about it. I know. I don't remember. Monday stew peas come to mind.
Okay.
Come to mind.
Okay.
I know Saturday soup is a more clearer one for me. It's a more
okay. So what is Saturday? What is Saturday?
Soup. So
soup. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Rice and peas. The rest of
everybody said yes. Soup Saturday. So let's get rid of soup. Let's get rid of Saturday then. Okay. Michael, give me Tuesday. What is Tuesday for you?
Tuesday was probably just some rice and mackerel or something like that.
Yes, it's rice and tin mackerel or soup is very richer.
Onion and tomato.
Tasheka, let me hear what Friday evening look like with mommy.
Corned beef and white rice.
Mary!
What?
In Jamaica, Friday was corned beef.
Do you know why?
It was something simple.
Do you know why? Okay, here's why. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Friday is a hard day's work. And nobody wants to put on a whole heap of big cooking on a Friday evening. So Friday evening is very, very light. You might have come home and I'll see bread and cheese or bread and corned beef, something like that. So Friday evening, nobody wants to work. It's a hard day's work. Because it's the last day of the week. Everybody wants to do something fun and they don't want to cook. Mm-hmm. So rice is easy. They just throw the white rice in there and then just fling on the thing. All right? Saturday is a hard day. Sunday is a hard day of cooking. Saturday cooking is hard and Sunday cooking is hard. Mm-hmm. What is Thursday?
Thursday? Yeah, for me, I think Well, if I can remember, it's like brown stew chicken or curry chicken, not a whole lot, with some white rice or yam. It's usually be yam, dumpling, something like that.
Oh,
But you're right, Leo. It's moving into the weekend. The Friday, I get sandwiches. I might get the bully beef sandwich
yes,
or some other sandwich,
yes.
maybe tuna sandwich.
And I know people who practice up here now. There
Yeah.
are people up here who will not cook on a Friday. They'll just go to the restaurant. They just go to the restaurant. And it's because of the same thing from Jamaica.
Yeah, we're tired.
Parents don't want to cook on a Friday. So,
Very, very tired.
so it's really,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Leon, okay. So what since we talk about food and family and get together and so on, what are some of the things those things teach us? Like gathering in the family, eating with them, hanging out with them. With Tasheka mentioned, okay, one house is here, the other one is there. So you skip houses and eat with others of us. We talk about like eating different things, in the same house,
And they teach you for thief.
The teacher of it.
Yes, because if you not good by your dumpling, if you don't know how to hold your plate, your dumpling or your chicken gone, So don't be this thief of a thief, because and you're better swift, So your sister, because me tell you, when my sister she cook good, right? And she used to take care of me good, right?
Yeah.
And when she cook, she would leave because me always gonna road, she leave my dinner if I'm not home. But if I'm home, it's beer fight around the table. Because somebody will turn off the light or something for somebody take somebody food. That's it. Tea food.
My God.
Sound like dinner was fun at your house, Leo.
Eh?
Sound like dinner was fun at your house.
Of course it was.
So, Tasheka is like,
one with them fork like this, ready.
he's on the watch all the time.
Yeah, always. You went up on the watch. What's up?
Yeah, but the rest of us,
Stuff two masters. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
is, Leo. Oh my goodness. I really thought about something else when you said that, because you have to keep watch all the time. But what are some of the more serious values that we learn around the kitchen? Barker, you want to go or Tasheka? Yeah, go first.
I think for me, the thing about it is that growing up, there were certain things that we didn't eat. So my grandmother didn't want us to eat chicken back. We couldn't eat mackerel. I didn't know what run the boat was. And so as you get older, and you start hearing other people and experiencing it, you wanted to learn more about the culture.
Yes.
And you wanted to experience all of that.
Curiosity.
So right now, my favorite Jamaican food is breadfruit and tin mackerel.
Boom, boom.
Because growing up, I didn't get to experience it. So for me, I wanted to learn more. And then for my grandmother, I always questioned her, why didn't we eat that? And for her, it was just that at the end of the day, when she was growing up, when my mother and them were growing up, it was a struggle, and that's all she could feed them. So once you got to the
struggler's food. That's struggler's food. You don't eat struggler's food when you come to America.
Once she got to the point where she was able to provide them with more, she didn't want them to have to eat that again. So for a long time, as I said, growing up in Jamaica, I always wonder, like, I had to go to my friend's house to taste tin mackerel, to taste chicken back, because she wouldn't cook it. And then as I started questioning and asking, I was a very curious child. She educated me on what it was, why she stopped cooking it for us, and trying to show us how she was creating a better life. So,
the tin mackerel, when you're in a big family and a one tin mackerel, they mash it up fine, so it stretch. You understand? You don't get a piece for yourself. You mash up really fine, so it look like pot. And so it can stretch. All right.
So Miguel, what are some of we're talking about value systems here, because it starts right around the food. Like Miguel, you mentioned, and then Michael will share a little while. You mentioned that even though you pick up the banana and so on the the way to preparing the meal, it's Thanksgiving, it's giving of, So what are some the value systems surrounding that food and gathering and cooking and sharing and eating?
Well, I suppose as I said, one of the things that I learned then from my grandmother was just giving in that sense,
Yes.
you know, because she never really sat us down and said, I'm doing this because it is now as an adult, I'm reflecting on it. And even in this conversation, I'm reflecting on it and trying to understand what was the bigger picture that she was trying to impact.
Yes.
You know, and so a lot of us are connected through stories of those moments.
Yes.
You know, a lot of us are connected to those stories. Tashika mentioned the idea of running a boat. And again, you know, I want to kind of just pull back a little, because when we talk about American societies that have big events about family gathering, there's a reason why those societies have to make a big deal of families get together.
Yeah, we don't have to.
We can speak freely about our families together. One, you use the term enslaved people. We had to be in the same space so that we could be watched. So eating together is it's more natural for us than in many societies where people were going off into the frontier and may never see others ever again. And so it was intentional why there is something called a Thanksgiving. People had to come back for that. So even in trying to extricate a kind of like a theme from our meals, it is maybe more on the nature of our shared histories. Why our food stories aren't as so much about let's get together. Well, because getting together is really what we struggle in societies where we can't do this weekly. Where we can't keep it around.
You're so right. You're so right. We have houses right next to each other in America, and we don't know our neighbors.
Exactly.
That would never happen.
That would never happen. That would never happen because we know the person who have the best pudding. We know the person who have the best. You know, it is a different kind of society. So what I pull from that is how important it is for us to understand the background to our histories when we try to build other histories into ours. Because when we do our Thanksgiving, as Tashika said, we don't want a turkey there because that's not part of our history. And it is not so much that we're doing Thanksgiving because it's it's because it's a holiday. But we Thanksgiving regularly because the nature of it is that we know who cook the best curry goat in our family, so bring it.
We have a lot of tenement yards. We have a lot of tenement yards. We create bigger families, bigger communities, bigger friendships, long-lasting friendships.
Yes.
So for me, what I wanted to come to do with the runabout piece that Tashika, that runabout is really is really an outcome of a poverty existence, you know, because rich people don't really run boat. Them have enough things to cook. They have enough to cook here. I mean,
that's a low blow. That's a low blow, Miguel. Okay.
No, but it is a reality.
Right now. All right.
It is a reality.
Leo. Rich people run a yacht.
You know, when we decide to run a boat, I want to tell you this story because to share just an observation and as I reflect about reflection for me. When we decide to run a boat, it is normally a situation where different people are allowed to participate in this one enterprise because of whatever they can contribute. So one person can bring flour, one person can bring, you know, this banana, another person can bring fish and stuff like that. And I'll share one small story about this because really it's a coming together, isn't it, of people working together. But I have one negative experience where one day we were summer, and this happens normally in the summer because you know what happens in summer. Parents have to work and kids have to figure out each day because parents don't have anyone sitting and babysitting. They have to go to work. So we are still at home for like 8 weeks figuring out, trying not to get in trouble. One mantra, don't get in trouble. Stay in the yard, don't come out. As your parents leave, you leave. And you know where on this one particular occasion, I did not have anything to contribute at all to the boat. So we are in this scenario and I think I had 10 cents. Tell you how far back. And I gave 10 cents to the pot because you can give money to buy things, you know.
That's a pound. That's a pound of flour. That's a pound of flour.
10 cents. 10 cents would maybe get you. Them time there's about 80 cents or so for a pound of flour. So somewhere in the pot. And I gave my 10 cents and everybody put together and we are at this one house and it turns out that salt was missing. from the but they asked me, they said, since you contribute the lowest, you need to go and get salt. Now, the problem is, my grandmother is at the house that day.
You can't go back home.
I can't go back home.
If you go back home, you can't leave.
Yeah, you understand. Understand, right? And this is about respect.
I understand.
I cannot go back home. So I said, listen, I cannot go back home. And you know what happened? After all the shopping, 10 cents was left over.
Oh, right. Then give back. Then give back.
Stop.
Michael, look, we hear your story now. Your takeaways from all the get together and the food and things. I mean, we heard about how you want your daughters want to be home by yourself. But
hold on, Leo, hold on, Michael. Before you go on, I want to acknowledge Tasheka's mom, Miss Valerie Bowman. That's how it's pronounced, Tasheka?
Yeah, Bowman, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say?
She's watching and she's commenting online. Saying, thanks to somebody, Paul, that's my daughter, Tasheka. So she's watching. So shout out to you, mommy. Thanks for raising a young woman.
Listen, mommy, if you're listening, you didn't do a good job at all because she don't know nothing about no run a boat. Okay.
All right.
We need to go back to Jamaica. All right. Go run a boat.
Michael, go ahead.
Michael, go ahead.
So back to the the point about values. So I know somebody's touched on already. You definitely self-reliance, because one of the things I had to learn to do real early was cook, because I'd come home from school and my aunt, who I grew up with, would be at work, and they would tell me what to start, put the rice in, do the peel the potato, the banana, stuff like that. And it also helped me because I was a Boy Scout, and one of the things I realized very early, to your point, Leo, whenever I went camping, I made sure I was a cook, because I could eat first and eat second again. Self-reliance, right? So, and the other thing too, as you know, growing up in Jamaica, whether you're male or female, one of the things your parents stress is that, and one of the lines they used to use, if you get married, you must know that your wife not poison you and all of that stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
That whole reliance thing, right?
Yeah, right.
And I think those are definitely some of the values I took away. Where you guys talk about, the village approach to
the child rearing,
whether it's virtual, however we want to call it, whether it's the physical village, like you said, Miguel, by where you grew up, or what I kind of call the communal village where I grew up in Swallowfield, where we would go out and all of us in the summertime, we're playing cricket and soccer barefoot on the road. And we had a running club, because I used to love running, and we used to run from the stadium to the mineral bath and back. We used to run up to UE and back and all that kind of thing. So, those are some of my best memories. And what I took away from all of that is just the communal spirit and growing up together and everybody supporting each other.
Speaking of communal, speaking of communal, when I think about Thanksgiving, and you'll probably get a couple of emails from it, an email from it tomorrow. When I think about Thanksgiving on a serious note, I actually think about harvest in Jamaica. There's a time of the year where churches, right, open their doors for an entire week, and farmers, backyard growers and people who have grown and bush, right, would bring to church things that they have, sugar cane, yam, all of these things, and they come there daily with stuff, so that people who are in need, people who are less fortunate, would come and get. And then there are people who could come and buy at a cheaper rate from the church, or they could go and come and give and donate. So our Thanksgiving is what we call harvest, and the church conducts that, and that is talking about community, because that's where all of the children them go become better friends at nights and play. And trust me, this is what you call community.
Yes, yes, Leo, that is very
Not to cut you off, Dr. Dice, but
yeah.
you remind me about the government cheese and the skim milk and the powder.
Yeah, yeah, the skim milk, we call it, what kind of milk they call it, Miguel?
Condensed milk.
Powder.
Powder
Powder.
milk.
Milk powder.
Milk
Powder
powder.
milk, yeah.
Oh,
Powder
Kashik,
milk.
I know that one.
When you
Milk
go home,
powder.
you fight with powder milk and you catch up and you hear don't messed up and all them things there.
Yeah, because you cake up together.
Wake up, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to lick our finger and dip in it and eat it.
Yes, there's a lot of learning there. A lot of learning.
Yeah. But you know,
Lasco Farm made a big business.
oh yes.
That is
I was
That's
gonna
why they
say,
sell
Lasco
it.
came and
That's
take over.
true.
Yes.
the genesis of
But different
Lasco.
flavors.
They built out into Lasco. That's why
It is
people
true.
call the sachet is Lasco. That is the
Yeah.
beginning.
That is so true, Miguel. That is very, very true. Yeah. So, but Michael brought up a very good point here. But because that's how I grew up too, around food and so on, where my grandparents who grew me told me that you don't want a woman to take care of you for the rest of your life. You need to be able to be self-reliant. So the cooking was one thing, and then ironing my clothes. So from I was very little, she used to put the chicken on, and she would say, "Hey, turn the chicken, go turn the chicken." And I would say, "Oh, you know it ready, you're ready to turn." And she said, "Go turn the chicken."
Yes, yes.
I go in the kitchen and flip it over on the other side, and sometimes you get splash burning out with the oil, and you come back and she's like, learn to do it. You're not go dead. You're not go dead. Just learn to do it because
When we grew, when we grew up, we the times were so different. And I asked a friend of mine, I was interviewing him last week. He was my principal. I asked him, what was it like, in the 60s as far as women are concerned and so forth.
Yeah.
And what he gave me something to think about. He said there were more things for women, young ladies, to do than men. We never know that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But when I think about it, the way I grew up, your parents, your mother, teach your sister to become a husband.
You mean a wife?
A wife. God have mercy. Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Kashika, don't take me on. Don't take me on. Don't take me on. Don't take me on. All right. Your sisters are taught to be good wives.
Yes.
And now there's such a turnaround. No, it's great to see women who, to me, women are the future of this country and in the country of the world.
Yeah,
I believe
yes.
they have the skill set, they have the abilities, they have the capacity to be great negotiators, great collaborators, great partners, and they know how to work together. And so I'm saying this because I grew up with three sisters. Yeah. So I didn't take care of me. I didn't around the house thing, So me get the better part, the benefit of being the guy that they took care of.
Oh, good.
But it's interesting that you said that, because one of the stories my mom shared growing up is that my aunt, they were able to go to school, but the boys had to go to the market or go work the farm to get money to take care of them. So it was interesting, like hearing the dynamics even between the culture different in America than Jamaica, because here men were the people who were getting educated, who were out there, and then in Jamaica it was much different. The parents pushed for the women to go get educated while the men had to take care of the home. On
Fridays there are more women in classrooms than men, boys. So on Fridays, right?
Yeah.
Fridays, boys don't go to school.
True.
They're troublemakers. Okay.
You shared a story, and it is in contrast to mine, because you mentioned you have three sisters, which I do as well.
Okay.
I was the eldest of the family.
Oh, okay.
What happened there, like how Michael talked about it, I pretty much did everything, like the cooking. I had to cook. I had to be able to, prepare every kind of meal. I was the responsible one. My mother would leave the chicken and say, brown it. And so I grew up with my mother, you know, and she'd say brown the chicken, which really mean, you know, make sure that it don't burn, but make sure it's fried. And what she would do initially would leave the chicken and say, brown it, and when I come home, I'll finish it.
Right.
As a young man, you become responsible. You start thinking, but I can't finish it. I mean, I see what you put on and you put on, so you eventually cook. The rest
That is a good story. That's a good story.
It's along that line, you know. But I grew up learning to do these things, not because I was being prepared to be a good husband or being a man. Him
look a while ago. He might look to make sure that. Well, I know. He might look to make sure that that's not his wife or the him. He must say something when he knows same wife or disagree with them.
I like cooking. Can you know the thing about it? I like my Jamaican food still. So I cook my oxtail, and you know all of that. So I'm a mackerel.
Like the brown stew chicken always brown stew with some.
That's good. That's great. It's great. It's great. Yes. Tasheka, I'm surprised. I'm glad to hear that Mom was teaching you about the coming of age, because it was a different time. It was totally a different time. I don't know how old Mom is, because you look very, very young, like you're 16. So Mom must be like 25 or 26 or 30 or something like that. But you know, in the days where we grew up, it was way, way different. It was a male society, complete male dominated, and you know, everybody in a politics was male. The principal of a school is male. It's like you could hardly find a principal who was a female.
Yeah.
And so
it was a rough woman, you know, like rough.
Yes. It was like, if you find a woman who's a principal, she's very rough.
Yes.
You know, so I love what I'm seeing these days. Michael, you're not saying much.
No, okay. I was, you know, listening, and well, I did have a female principal at my primary school, so that was a little different.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, man. Miss Hector. Never forget her name, Miss Hector. And my basic school, the lady who started it, and she since passed, Miss Burke. So I was used to strong female teachers, and all of my, as a matter of fact, I try to remember if I had in primary school, I think all my teachers were females. So,
well, yeah, at the basic school is mostly female who start basic school. They're the ones who care. They care more than the men, you know. But so we understood that.
Yeah, but Miss Hector was strict and, you know, intimidating, like you said, man. You know, you don't step out the line.
You slip. You never slip past them at all. Leo, as we're gonna wind on, we want to talk about where we are now as a people, and the value systems we carry over from food and how we grew up, you know, very culturally, and those value systems leading to us having careers and influencing even now what we do, how we behave, how we reflect on life, moving forward with even family. Those value systems, very basic, everyday structure that used to be everyday structure, they become a part of our lives. So, Michael, we want start off with.
I'm with you. I encourage. You know, I'm a Jamaican, and me is a advocate for Jamaica all day long.
Yes.
And so, when we come to America, the values that we adopt back home, I believe in them. Whether you're poor or you're rich, I believe in those values heavily. And so when you come to America, I expect, like Tasheka, that when you have your child and your children, that you are bringing those same values there. I'm not saying that you must go beat your child, right? I'm just saying that those strong religious values that you grow with, because they get depleted right here very quickly. Yes. And I think that whatever you learn in Jamaica, bring it here and pass it on to them children there. That's the only thing that's going to save them sometime, because you teach them wrong and right from Jamaica. When they come here, wrong and right stay in their mind for a long time, and that's the only thing that can save them from gangs and drugs and all that stuff. You understand?
And Leo, to add to that too, before we go over it, is there's some moral value for money, value for savings, value for people, you know, you care, value for service, value for commitment, you know, your word is your bond. Those things that we learned a long time ago.
Very important. Yeah, man.
So Michael, yes.
So you know, not to keep repeating, but I have, you know, some fundamental things that I work on and I have shared with family and other folks. And I think there are three things I believe in terms of being prepared. You've got to be mentally strong, physically strong, and spiritually strong, right? So you should always work on that. Everything else will come. You know, that if you're not strong in those areas, you can't do much more. Like we talked before, I think education is always a priority coming out to our culture. And sorry, Tashaka, but you know, the being prepared in high school in Jamaica is, I don't think there's any better preparation anywhere.
That is true. Very true. I went through that. Yes.
Fundamentals. And so one of the things I always say when I came here, one of the things I stress is trying to eliminate excuses, right? And what I mean by that is getting as much education as you can, not just for the sake of getting education, but so that when you want to go forward, whether it's in your career or you want to do certain things, you can never be told you're not qualified. Okay,
yes.
Eliminate that excuse, because there's a lot of other obstacles you could come against. We know the covert and not and overt ones.
Yes.
Comes with color, comes with accent, comes with wherever you come from. We know, because I worked in corporate America, so I could talk another 2 hours about that and write a book on that. But so, you know, I always made sure I focus on that, and that I shared with my children as well. Also, being caring, right? And so, you know, the letters behind my name, I always say, don't mean a thing.
Yes.
What is important is, how do I use the knowledge gained through those processes to help myself grow and to help other people grow, right? So if I can contribute to my race and to my, you know, the diaspora in a broader sense, then it's all in vain. And those are the values I pass on to my children as well. So it's not just about them getting, you know, qualifications and becoming this and that, but also caring about their fellow human beings at the same time.
Very good. Tasheka?
I mean, I think there's two things that I took from our value system. So the first thing is family. So my grandmother was very, very big on family. She raised her children that way. And so I think one of the traits that I inherited from her is I'm also finding any ways possible to bring family together. So I know, Dwayne, you used to text me and say, I never see a family have so much parties, because every weekend Dwayne reach out to me, there's a party. Anybody's birthday, we're throwing a party. And this is on both sides. This is on mom's side and dad's side. That's one of the things, like and even now with COVID, it really hurts us because we're not able to gather as much as we can. So now with Zoom, where we have the parties on Zoom now. And then the second thing I think that I bring to it is that being a woman, being a Black woman, being a Jamaican woman, as you said, with the accent. And so therefore that all those obstacles, trying to overcome it. So whenever I get to the point where I could talk to a young woman in Jamaica, talk to someone migrating and let them know these are the barriers that's going to come against you. However, you have to overcome them. And you have to, as long as you're talented, as long as you have the skill set, don't let anyone ever tell you or take it apart from you, because you will get those things. Like the first thing I always hear is like, oh, you have an accent. Does my accent have to do with what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I may have an accent, but at the end of the day, I know what I'm saying and I'm living true to it. So I think definitely as a Black woman, there's a lot of things you have to overcome. And let's not forget the age. So, you know, they say Black don't crack. we age very well. You get to the point where you also go into a room and someone's like, oh, this 20-something girl. And it's like, I'm not a girl. I'm not 20-something. But thank you for that compliment. And so it's just so much. You have to overcome.
Ashika, you sound like you have an attitude a while ago when you said thank you too much. Thank you.
Yes, she has to give it to them.
That's an attitude.
Yes.
But I think, you know, you grew up with those women who tell you you need to be strong. Yes. And that is instilled in you. So every day, no matter what, how people try to push me down, I always hold my head up and say, I always reflect, what would my grandmother say? What would my mother say? How would they want me to move forward? And so definitely having those. And now we have a vice president that's a Black woman. with Jamaican heritage.
Yes.
Nothing could stop us now. Like
Remember?
I'm all the way up.
Your grandmother would have said, in caution, the higher the monkey climb, Miguel, finish that for me now. The higher the monkey climb is the more him expose.
He might pose himself.
So just be aware that people are always out there to take you down, always, to move you from who you are, but always remember that Jamaican-ness about you and put up there. Because I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of that. All right.
Miguel, you're muted. Miguel, you're muted.
Unmute.
Unmute. Thank you, Tashega. Well said. You summarized.
I literally gave you the letter numbers just now.
Oh my God, and you're muted. Can you repeat them, please?
And the thing is, I don't even remember what they just came out.
You get a week.
No, but yes, I get a week. So, as Tashika talk about our parents, as I said, I grew up with my mother as the person, the head, my mom. I grew up with my mom and my three sisters. And my mother used to have a thing that she says, and it is so important for me throughout my life. And she's passed away now, about 5 years now. But she always used to use this term. She said, you must have ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is a mantra that has guided me, throughout all the challenges that I've had in life. My mother always said, have ambition. Another voice that has always stayed with me throughout the life is a principal at high school. I remember through all the challenges, the macro, we talk about these things with fondness and reminiscence, of life. But really, these are really examples of our poverty, the kind of foods that we can talk about. Tell us a little bit. We share a commonness and a shared history because of the food that we have. It tells a lot about our life and what it was like. Mm-hmm. And so, I remember my principal one day, Mr. Hamilton, I remember his name. Mr. Hamilton said, and this is in school, he said in an assembly, he said, it's better to come from nowhere and reach somewhere than to come from somewhere and reach nowhere. It stayed with me because it was resonant with my life at the time. I was in what you'd consider to be nowhere. Mm-hmm. And then another person said something that has stayed with me as well. And these are the kind of things I pick because I've come into a major point on this. And it's all people saying things to me. I remember I was at my brother's graduation in 1993, and the speaker at the graduation was Dr. Herbert Thompson. He was the head of at the time he was president of the West India College. It's not that now, it's Northern Caribbean University. And I remember him saying that there's only one job in the world, one work that you can do in the world where you start at the top. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you a chance to think about it. Which job in the world you start at the top? I'll give you a second to think about it. Anyway.
Parent.
Digging a hole. He said digging a hole. Digging a hole is the only job. And the point I'm making is that the three things I shared with you are people saying things to me, not writing it down, didn't read it in a book. It's people who are my elders who are sharing things as part of a tradition that exists within Black people, an oral tradition of sharing important points and in very, just situations. You're just talking and they'll share things with you. And it is important that we as a culture continue that part of it because that is so important, that piece of that oral tradition of shared important ideas. And those three things have been my mantra. When I look at life, I always try to look and say, I don't have to start at the top. I can build my way up. It can start from nowhere and reach somewhere. And in all of it, doesn't matter what, in any situation, whether you're in a group of people, of anything, have ambition. And so I'm just sharing that because these are really things that just came through people who have different experiences and sharing them orally. And in these get-togethers, that's what happens normally. Your grandparents always have something to tell you.
The village.
So I'm just sharing that as a kind of like going back to it.
Thank you. The village.
Very, very true. Yeah, it does. Leo, because it's the same way I grew up to with my grandparents always have these wonderful sayings. It's a one-liner. It's always the one-liners. And you remember them and they stick with you and they're very deep. Afterwards, you thought about them and you're thinking, but oh my God, she was right. And one thing I learned about my grandparents too, they're psychologists and they're philosophers in their own way.
In their own right. Absolutely. The one caution that I leave with you this evening, though, we grew up on yam and banana and dumpling and cocoa and dasheen, and all of these things are, we have to remember that the reason why we grew up on those is because our country was poor, that our country coming out of colonialism, and the 1% is always having a little bit more than a whole heap more than the entire population. And so we lived on the land, but the land provided us with certain kinds of food that are high in starch, carbohydrates. So I am just cautioning you that every time you get a chance to change your diet, from having yam and cocoa and dumpling and dasheen and thing on your plate, and bread, hardware bread and bulla and bun and cut cake and rock bun and thing, if you have a chance to change that, because our country people has the highest propensity for diabetes, which is a really rugged disease that we can control ourselves once we have it. And so please change your diet when you get the chance to do so. But we can't do it because sometimes I go to Jamaica and I cannot find a piece of bread in a restaurant that says wheat. Always white. And I don't have a choice on whether or not I want ackee and saltfish with whole oil, and I don't have a lot of choices.
Or even whole salt.
And so we have to be very, very careful, not just careful, we have to self-care. So when we get a chance to do so, I'm just cautioning, there's a word of caution, self-care. And that's one thing that we need to do. Be careful of how much of this that we eat, bring it down.
Yeah, very good, Leo. Yes. We want to thank our guest, Miss Tasheka Winter, Dr. Barker, Miguel Barker there, and Dr. Michael Flanagan. Thank you so much for coming on. People shared how much they enjoyed your discussions and your sharing as usual, and we're gonna have you guys again.
I definitely bringing Tasheka back because we need to learn some more about the Jamaican in America. That one more I know about.
Yeah, she shot me with that one.
Yes, thank you guys.
Dr. Flanagan, continue to do, yes, Tasheka. Thank you for doing your wonderful work over there. And Miss Winter, I know you're doing a tremendous job, even within the JD-TAN network. And the Dr. Barker, we go way back, even though it's a few months ago. By
the way, I out of everybody in the task forces, I met Dwayne about a month ago. That's the first time I was meeting him.
Yes, in person.
Yeah, well, we feel like we know each other from God knows when, so it's really a nice family. I want to thank Miguel. Where's the vibe?
Yard vibes,
yeah, man. I want to thank you, Miguel, for being there every time we call. Thank you so much. I know you have a rich history of your Jamaican-ness that you haven't even explored, because as I listen to you talk, you have so much to say, and you have it in depth. Unlike many people who can only tell you topical stuff about Jamaica, you have it in depth, and you have something that's related. Tasheka, thank you so much for the work. I stole you from Dr. Dice, but him have to go check it up and thing.
But that's why we keep on bringing her, because we love her around,
Thank you. Thank you for doing the work that you do. And Michael, I am looking forward to meeting you personally soon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Leo.
Yes.
Great meeting you, Tasheka and Miguel.
Nice to see you, man. Pleasure meeting all of you. Really.
All right. This is Leo Gilling and Dr. Dwayne Dice on EduTalk on the Leo Gilling Show. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And you can reach me at leogilling@gmail.com. And what's your email address again, Dr. Dice?
It's Dwayne.dice@gmail.com.
Right.
Or they can contact us on education@jdtan.org.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye now.
Take care, everybody. Bye, everybody. See you again.